President Muhammadu Buhari to address the ongoing 76th United Nations General Assembly this afternoon. Discussion on means of unlocking development opportunities through financial inclusion dominated discussion when the President met Queen of Netherlands. These and more on Panorama. I am Sadia Umardiki. President Muhammadu Buhari will address the ongoing 76th United Nations General Assembly this afternoon at 2 p.m. Nigeria time. The Nigerian Television Authority will broadcast the president's presentation live on the network. All NTA stations nationwide are hereby directed to join the network service for the address. President Buhari will speak on global issues in line with the theme of the 76th United Nations General Assembly, which is building resilience through hope to recover from COVID-19, rebuild sustainably, respond to the need of the planet, respect rights of people, and revitalize the United Nations. Meanwhile, issues relating to ways and means of unlocking development opportunities through financial inclusion dominated discussion when President Muhammadu Buhari held a bilateral engagement with the Queen of the Netherlands, Maxima Zorreguieta. The meeting was held on the margin of the ongoing 76th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has details.
The Queen of the Netherlands is the United Nations Secretary General's Special Advocate for Inclusive Finance for Development. She is the leading global voice on advancing universal access to and responsible usage of affordable, effective, and safe financial services. The Queen's engagement with President Muhammadu Buhari centered on enabling responsible technology for financial inclusion across Nigeria towards achieving sustainable growth and development.
It is about getting a large percentage of our country, not just in the urban areas, but throughout the country, to plug in to the digital highway, really, as it is, and so that all activities will be done digitally. Investors will then also come in, in the various sectors when you have this easier mode of transacting business, and that will also help the government in revenue, generation. So clearly, Mr. President can see the real value that this will add.
The Queen of the Netherlands, whose last visit to Nigeria was in 2017, told President Muhammadu Buhari that she is already engaging with stakeholders in different sectors of the nation's economy, describing their responsive disposition as gladdening.
Mr. President, promised that we're going to do even more in the country to put in place that digital infrastructure. It'll impact on so many different sectors, be it insurance, health, agriculture, and here you will need the CBN. Governor has to be very much engaged, and of course a Minister of Finance. And the point was made that if you have that, it'll add 10% to GDP of a country.
President Muhammadu Buhari also granted audience to the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, Nigeria's Amina Muhammad. Their discussions held behind closed doors were, however, not made public. From New York, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has sent in a high delegation for talk with Nigeria on various aspects to improve the economy, particularly in the oil and gas resources as well as aviation. Foreign desk correspondent Usman Aliyu reports that the delegation met with Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Onyema in New York.
Foreign Affairs Minister of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, his deputy and the country's envoy in the United Nations visited. and the bilateral talks centered on continuing agenda set up by the OPEC Secretary General Nigeria Sanusi Barkindo on global market and value for the oil and gas resources. Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs Jeffrey Onyama hinted the delegation about commitments by the federal government at the moment to build infrastructure for development while confronting various challenges of peace, security and stability in Nigeria and West Africa. There were also talks on review of bilateral deals on air transportation, agriculture and education, and the formation of the first Nigeria and Venezuela Joint Commission in 2022. As part of the New York engagements, Minister of Foreign Affairs Jeffrey Onyama paid a visit to the United Nations Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohammed. From New York, Usman Aliu, NTA News.
The 76th session of the United Nations General Assembly regards violence against children as one of the world's biggest threats to their rights and privileges. Charles Alpha reports that participants are now exploring ways to strengthen the system of protection of children against violence in time of crisis.
The 76th United Nations General Assembly identifies economic, geopolitical, and climate crisis, and only recently the global health emergency as potential threats to the rights of children. Addressing the problems, the session drew world leaders' attention to the negative effects of increased violence on the behavioral pattern and future of the child. The impact of child abuse, sexual harassment, and violence against children in times of crisis. The summit anticipated is unlikely to end as the coronavirus recedes, but it is exploring ways of strengthening the system of protection for children.
We know that poverty, inequalities are drivers of violence and exploitation of children.
This is highly alarming. We must do more to protect our children now and also in the future.
We have to make sure that there would be effective and efficient regulations to prevent children and families from becoming victims of harassment, sexual propaganda, or dissemination of extremist views.
Leaders also looked at the most effective ways to respond and advocate an inclusive, resilient, and sustainable recovery with children at its center. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
The federal government has reiterated that it will continue to support and encourage the efforts of states towards improving infrastructure, security and social services in the country. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo said this at the 6th edition of the Kaduna Economic Summit, where Kaduna State government announced an investment portfolio of over $2 billion.
This is Kaduna State, amazing people, amazing culture, set to take its economy to an enviable height through its Economic Transformation Plan 2021 to 2025. This event, the Kaduna Economic and Investment Summit, started in April 2016, and this is the 6th edition and is simply tagged CADInvest 6.0 with the theme towards a sustainable knowledge-based economy.
There is a commendable steadiness of thought on the development pathway for this state.
Guest of honor, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, expressing satisfaction with the achievements of the state, especially its support for micro, small and medium enterprises, the free education program and development of infrastructure, as well as the focus on knowledge-based economy.
We are committed to, as much as is possible, creating a stable and predictable macroeconomic business environment, providing infrastructure, and of course ensuring security. For we realize that in addition to kinetic interventions, jobs and social protection are vital for security and sustainable development. And we are, as you've mentioned, making accelerated efforts to enhance security across the country, and in this region particularly, especially working with the state governors in many of the worst affected states.
And Governor Ahmed El-Rufai says the state has a big ambition
to create between 2 million and 7 million jobs by 2050. We hope to boost household income. Kaduna is focused on import substitution and targeting the large Nigerian market.
The governor says the federal government has laid the firm foundation for the Nigerian economy and every state must build on this. The vice president, before departing Kaduna, also inspected some completed and ongoing projects in the state. In Kaduna, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Given the recent rise in global natural gas prices and the current low level of natural storage in various hubs, OPEC Secretariat report for September 2021 monthly oil market showed that in line with average forecast for the 20-year weather condition, forecast for the upcoming winter month October 2021 through March 2022 prevailed as a normal winter. Assuming harsher winter prevails in the upcoming winter month, the price of natural gas will be sustained at high level, which could provide incentives for switch from natural gas to fuel oil. Going by the September monthly oil market report, world oil demand is estimated to increase by 5.4 million barrels per day. However, sustaining rise in natural gas prices is expected to determine demand for oil due to additional fuel switching expected only in certain parts of Europe and Asia. Panorama continues in a moment. Don't go away.
The vaccine offers hope for a safe country free of coronavirus. I urge all state governments, traditional and religious leaders to take the lead in the mobilization effort within their environment and spheres of influence. I similarly urge all eligible Nigerians to present themselves and be vaccinated in accordance with the order of priority already mapped out at the various authorized designated centers only.
Till there. Now, the Nigerian Center for Disease Control has confirmed 433 new cases of COVID-19 in 16 states and the FCT. In the new figures, FCT tops states with the new infection with 191 cases, followed by Lagos with 79, Anambra 63, Rivers 72, Plateau 13, Oyo 10, while Delta has 9. Others are Ondo 8, Edo 7, Gombe 6, Akwa Ibom and Borno has 5 cases each, Ekiti 4, Bayelsa and Zamfara with 2 cases each, while Enugu and Kano recorded 1 case each. Nigeria now has 3,514 confirmed cases of COVID-19, out of which 191,942 patients were treated and discharged, while 2,668 died of the virus. Now, Sokoto State Police Command has arrested 8 persons suspected to be among the angry mob that set ablaze the residence of Commissioner of Career and Security Matters in Isa Local Government. Commissioner of Police Kola Kamaluddin Okunola disclosed this while confirming the incident to NTA News. Alata Abdullahi reports.
The Commissioner of Police said a group of youth in the area had organized a security meeting to discuss security matters, which was later hijacked by an angry mob where they set the house of the Commissioner for Security ablaze and stormed the residence of the district head of Isa, Sarkin Gobiro of Isa, Alhaji Nasir Ahmad, and destroyed vehicles and other items. Kola Okunola further confirmed that the command had arrested the organizers of the gathering and some of those believed to have taken part in the destruction.
So far now, everything is calm and the situation has returned to normal. There is no cause for alarm anymore while we are investigating.
The Commissioner of Police, Sokoto State, Kola Kamaluddin Okunola, therefore appealed to members of the public not to take law into their hands and give security operatives useful information in their domains. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Islamic sects in Nigeria have been called upon to pray for the nation's leaders and a lasting solution to insecurity bedeviling the nation. Sultan Muhammad Saad Abubakar made the call when he received the leadership of the National Council of Tijaniya Sufi under the leadership of 14th Emir of Kano, Muhammad Sanusi II. Sheikh Muhammad Detti completes the report.
The Sultan described the visit of the Tijaniya Sufis Council as a blessing and historic. He appreciated the honor done to him by the members of the council under the leadership of his brother, the 14th Emir of Kano, Muhammad Sanusi II. Sultan Muhammad Saad Abubakar called on Sufis Council to pray for lasting peace and unity of the country. He also called on them to pray for the nation's leaders, shun politics, and be their brother's keeper. The monarch maintained that coming together of Muslim Ummah under one roof is a testimony of a brotherhood among Muslims. Leader of the National Council of Tijaniya Sufis in Nigeria and the 14th Emir of Kano, Muhammad Sanusi II, informed the Sultan that they are at the palace to present his offer of appointment as the successor of Sheikh Ibrahim Inyas. He informed the Sultan that there are 50 million Tijaniya Sufis in Nigeria, assuring the Sultan of their loyalty. Muhammad Sanusi II said Tijaniya is not a political party or an association, but an Islamic sect that preaches peace, unity, and understanding. He also assured the Sultan of their continued prayers for the nation to overcome its challenges. The national leader of the Tijaniya Council was in company of the council's president, Professor Abakar Yagawal, and other members across the nation. In Sokoto, Sheikh Muhammad Detti, NTA News.
Youth Corps members posted to Sokoto State have been challenged to shun all forms of irregularities and respect their host communities. Sultan Muhammad Saad Abubakar threw the challenge when he hosted the 2021 Badge B Stream 2 Corps members at his palace.
It is a tradition of the Sultan to host Corps members posted to Sokoto State for a lunch and words of wisdom. The Corps members are selected based on states and the nation's capital, each having 2 representatives. The Sultan described as a blessing the coming together of brothers and sisters under one roof to strengthen unity and cohesion. He urged the Corps members to respect the norms and values of their host communities and always do right to all manners of people.
Do not allow the elite to mislead you to take up arms against their own brother who did not fight you.
The State NYSC coordinator, Muhammad Nakamba, informed the Sultan that they are at the palace for his blessings and words of advice. The visit featured questions, comments, and suggestions from the Corps members. In Sokoto, Sheikh Muhammad Detti, NTA News.
And I now hand you over to Elizabeth in Abuja for the continuation of Panorama. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much, Sadia, and welcome to Abuja. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has restated that the federal government's borrowing is tied to the administration's commitment in bequeathing the nation with world-class infrastructures that will benefit upcoming generations. The minister stated this during a town hall meeting on safeguarding the nation's critical infrastructure against incessant vandalism with focus on power and telecommunication infrastructure. Anthony Forson reports.
Naysayers have recently ramped up their criticism of the Buhari administration for borrowing. These critics are very insincere.
The borrowing, he explained, is not for recurrent expenditure or to pay salaries, and so the administration has a lot of flagship projects to showcase.
Despite a drastic drop in revenues and competing priorities, especially that of battling insecurity, the federal government has invested heavily in providing infrastructure as well as reconstructing and rehabilitating the existing ones. In recent times, however, such laudable efforts of the government are being thwarted by some unpatriotic citizens through wanton destruction of critical infrastructure, thereby depriving the greater citizenry for whose benefits these projects and services are provided from enjoying them. Railway tracks are being subjected to wanton vandalism, bridge railings are being removed, manhole covers are being pilfered, and so are critical aviation, power, and telecommunications infrastructure. The consequences of such unpatriotic action and behavior, aside endangering the lives of fellow innocent citizens, include the toll it takes on the government's limited revenue to replace, rehabilitate, or totally reconstruct such destroyed infrastructure.
Frowning at those criticizing the administration to have performed abysmally in the area of modernizing the nation's infrastructure, he said they have nothing to show during their tenure, stressing that the present administration under President Muhammadu Buhari will not be deterred by the antics of playing cheap politics. Borno State Governor, while expressing gratitude to the Information Minister, said the town hall meeting has emerged as a platform for the promotion of participatory democracy.
Let me use this opportunity to convey my sincere gratitude to the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces, President Muhammadu Buhari, for approving for the establishment of an alternative power supply to Borno State through the NNPC.
Representative of the Minister of Power and that of Communication and Digital Economy spoke on the way forward.
Minister of Communications has granted approval for the introduction of new services, emerging services that are smarter technologies that are less susceptible to vandalization.
I want to assure you that the Ministry of Power is not resting on this issue.
I'm happy that the office of the Secretary to the Government of Borno State and the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture are collaborating to come up with appropriate measures to address the problem of vandalizing these stores and restore power supply to Maiduguri.
The Maiduguri outing is the third in the quest for solutions to protect critical infrastructures in the country. In Maiduguri, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
And for some sporting stories, let's join Clement Olontoba.
The chairman, Conference Queens Football Club, Abdul Malik Issa, believes that with the new additions to the club, Conference Queens are now ready to win the 2021-2022 Nigeria Women Football League season.
I can assure you, because we reshuffle the team and bring in fresh legs that are ready to play football and that are ready to do it for us.
Conference Queens are among the 14 registered clubs that will slug it out in the 2021-2022 Nigeria Women Football League season starting on the 8th of December. Meanwhile, Nigeria's senior women's basketball team, the Tigresses, will face Senegal on Friday in the semi-final of the ongoing Women's Afro-Basket in Yaoundé, Cameroon. The Nigerian side on Thursday defeated Côte d'Ivoire 72-56 in one of the semi-finals, while Senegal beat Mozambique 74-46 in the other match to book a date with the Tigresses. The epic semi-final slated for Friday will be a repeat of the 2019 final hosted by Senegal, while Nigeria clinched the title in Dakar. And finally, Anthony Joshua will put his WBO, IBF, IBO and WBA belt into test when he faced Ukrainian Alexander Usyk this Saturday in a heavyweight title clash at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Alexander Usyk will pose a hugely tough test for Joshua, who must win to keep his hopes of claiming all heavyweight belts alive. The former cruiserweight champions has claimed 18 straight wins as a professional boxer with no loss, while Anthony Joshua, 31, has won 25 fights with one loss. This is the first time both boxers will be meeting at this stage. With sport updates, Clement Oloruntoba, NTA News.
And Sports Update ends Panorama today. Thank you so much for your time. And don't forget, the campaign against rape is still on. Take action today. I'm Elizabeth Omori.
is an evil net that traps the